All right, potential video script. Completely changed my tune on Bitcoin. Maybe I'll just post this. Will people watch this? They're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm on the Stairmaster, of course. I'm cheesing it though. All right, completely changed my tune on Bitcoin. Must go faster. I've completely changed my tune on Bitcoin previously. And I think many people who've been in the space for a long time, I think maybe if you're in the space for a long time, you adopt one of two stances. One, you drink the Kool-Aid and you actually believe in it. Or number two, you just think like it's a vehicle for profit like everything else. I own a lot of Raytheon. Do I believe in Raytheon? What does that mean? Do I believe in what they're doing? I believe they're serving a market. There's always a market for war, so they're serving it. I think it'd be great if there was no war, but I'm not a fucking idiot. There will always be war. But I own it because I know that there is always a market for war. Anyway, with Bitcoin, it was speculative to the point where, I never put in more than, I could complete, like gambling. I don't really gamble, but I will. But I've never gotten upset from losing. But usually that means that the stakes are so low that when I win, I don't really get excited either. So I don't really gamble. But anyway, kind of came to this kind of mode of thinking over the past few months with like rate cuts, the election, housing crisis. It's been like 2-3 years. Okay, slow it down a little. Housing's been, kind of a big question mark for a lot of people. Housing prices are high. No end in sight. If they drop rates, demand will skyrocket and the prices will go up. And people with low rates won't sell. And so they say, well, just go ahead and buy a house, refi later, because housing prices will only go up and they've only ever gone up. But then I see, shit about population collapse or, people not having kids. Trump won the election. Whether or not they deport people, I don't know. But if they do, and they remove several million people from the population, that's that much less demand. The focus now is high density housing. So that's more people housed in a smaller area. That's less demand. But the big one is boomers dying. So I got one grandparent left. Not exactly in the greatest shape. Parents are getting older. Not super old. They had me when they were young. So, but the writing's on the wall. A lot of boomers aren't very healthy. And, they maybe not make it into their late 60s or 70s. And so when boomers die, that's more housing, that's more supply, less people coming up to take that supply. Houses last, a long time, even with modern building standards. A lot of houses will probably last as long as some of those old, don't build them like they used to houses, just from better materials, better construction, chemical imbued woods and things to keep things from rotting. So more supply, less demand. Over the next 20, 30 years, is housing going to be a safe spot? There's just not going to be enough people to demand the housing. And you'll have a bunch of guys like me who are like, yeah, I'm going to buy extra houses. I own 2 houses. But if there's no one to rent and the supply increases, demand goes down, renters can just buy a house. Now they own houses, there's no one to rent. And the only people left are the people with the absolute worst trash credit scores with no money. Those are gonna be the people you're renting to. Those are not the greatest tenants. They're gonna trash your house. They're gonna miss rent. And with laws that favor the tenant, you're fucked. You know, in residential real estate, the landlord, commercial real estate, the landlord is God. In residential, the tenant is God. That's why I don't like it. So, all that said, where do you put your money? Assets. Because cash only loses value. Sure, oh, the inflation numbers are down. That just means it's not going up as fast. Everyone ignores that. Well, a good portion of people just ignore that. Like, but inflation's down. Bidenomics is working. Yeah, it's just things are getting worse, less fast. That's what that means. So cash, you can't be there. So you have to go into assets. Real estate, short term, 10, 15 year, you're probably fine. But I don't play that shit. I don't move money in and out. My money only goes one way. I don't have time to keep track of all this shit and trade and sell. Like, oh yeah, I'm up 100% on Nvidia. Well, that's cool. So you don't think it's gonna go down? It's like, well, I just sold it. I don't do that. I think a lot of people don't do that. They stock their money in their 401k. They move it into a retail account, brokerage account, whatever. They just leave it there forever. That's why when I buy shit, I'm not trying to make these swing trades, these speculative things. I still do speculative plays, but I just consider that money gone. And I get it back when I'm 65 or whatever. So, you can't go into real estate. You can go into stocks, but that's basically just an inflation hedge. Because those underlying companies, how well are they going to do if housing collapses, if population collapses, if all these other things take a shit, if we get stagflation or deflation, how well are they going to do? Not great. So what else do you do? Gold, silver? Come on, man. That's good stuff if we have an actual societal collapse. If we go full Mad Max, yeah, maybe. But if we go full Mad Max, what the hell does anyone want gold for? People are gonna want bullets, food, and medicine. That's it. So where do you go? We're running out of places. Except for digital assets. Fixed supply. People increasingly want more. People increasingly doing business remotely online. They want to be peer-to-peer. They want some semblance of anonymity, even though it's not, which is why I like Monero the best. But you know they can break the Monero thing. They can hack that. Yeah, with $1 trillion supercomputer. I mean, Pegasus can get into anything. I get it. The question is it worth it? Is it worth it for them to turn their eyes towards you versus a $10 billion drug cartel? You decide. So, for those reasons and more, I guess it's maybe not that bad of a play. Enough important people are in on it at this point to where it can't really collapse. There's too much money in it. There's lobbying now. And then the corrupt people in government and in industry now utilize it for slush funds, bribes, shit like that. It's cleaner in that way. And so for those reasons, I've really kind of turned my tune around. Not saying I'm a BTC maxi, well, I always was. But I don't see it as just an oddity that I am certain will go to zero. It's gonna stand the test of time. Well, at least until Mad Max. Anyway, that's my thing. How many floors did I do? I cheesed it. Let's see. Hey, 36. Not bad. All right, I'm gonna go have a heart attack on the technicals. See you next time.